Dana White thing. He's trying to get Khabib out of retirement.
That's me.
To come at. Oh, you try to do that?
Yeah, it's me.
So is it going down or what? What's up?
He's 29-1 as I'm concerned. So I was training. I was training out of a park first, and then I transferred over to my garage when I bought my house. I built like my own 10x10 ring, and we were training there like a monster. And we show up at UFC 209, and he got scared. He ran out. So his agent's a snitch. So he ended up. Somebody made a phone call, and he's like, "Hey, don't fight this guy." So he ran back, and then the same thing happened over and over. So. But his pops before he passed away.
Yeah.
And I never say anything about his family, his religion. I always call him just a fat ass, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna be
it's
real.
just a sport. It can't get any personal than that.
Well, I'm gonna be real. He circled my family over. Him and his crew, they circled my family over at the New York. And I was watching. And it was crazy. And then he tried to be ballsy like that with my team. And I told him over at the place when we were at Face Off, I was like, it's just me and you in the cage, right?
What?
And I was like, your boys ain't gonna be able to help you. So I told him that, and I don't fuck around. I was like, I'm from 2 different locations, and how it goes is my pops, you do it really fucking quick, and you make sure nobody fucking sees it. So that's how I grew up, and it's a little bit different and a little bit interesting, because Khabib never seen a guy like me. And he was like, take off your sunglasses, and I had these reflective ones, and so he saw his ass himself. And I'm gonna be real, during the pandemic, he chickened out like a little bitch, and he ran back to Russia. But he had a private jet to be able to fly back in.
Yeah.
And then you had the president relaying the message to Dana.
Wow.
And we went through 5 locations in 3 days. It felt like maybe a month. It was the craziest fucking 72 hours ever. We finally got the location. I said, fuck, I'm gonna take a chance. And I got sports back on in the world. So it was the coolest fucking feeling, man, just to do something that nobody could jock the style.
But Dana's with it, though. Like, he's ready to push the whole...
Absolutely. We got the green light.
Wow.
So we got the green light.
So it's up to him.
So, no, it's up to, like, me to fucking get Khabib to fight now. Because the coaching part's gonna be there. It's gonna be there. So we're waiting on Khabib. He even wants to do it. I'm a much better coach than him. I had a seminar on Friday. I coach like 30 people training military style. That's how I roll, man. And so, Khabib, if he's got balls, I'm gonna be real. He likes to play soccer, so I hope he's got fucking balls.
Does it get like frustrating when you want to like create these kind of fights, and obviously they're bullshitting like crazy?
Well, it's kind of like music.
A lot of people get that, even with like McGregor and shit like that. People want him, but is a choosing system. What's the system like? Do they choose, or is it money, or is it like?
No, I mean it's always going to be politics. You have to look after your pocket. I mean that goes everybody. So you got to respect that. I do too. I got a good relationship with Dana. I always, hey, guess what? And he always fucking forgets. He says, what? I say, these nuts. And I fucking send him a squirrel.
That's Dana, all right.
And he fucking cracks up. And it's funny because like I have that relationship with him. And during the pandemic, I was out with my cousin skateboarding, and he called me one time. I forwarded his ass to a fucking voicemail. And the only reason was because I was working. I was like, I needed this space. I called him right back, and like I said, I'm a go-getter. CSO doesn't just stand for champ shit only. It stands for Chief Security Officer. So anytime I'm out there, I make shit happen. So I'm glad the fans are cool as shit too, and they want to see this fight with Khabib.
Y'all really be going at it though? Every time I see y'all face to face, and then it be going down. Is that like orchestrated, or
No,
is it
real.
World Star? I don't know. Is it like real?
Some
like,
other people, they try too hard. When
like the girls be doing it, I be seeing girls like they be kissing each other in the mouth and all that stuff. Like,
dude, I'm gonna be real with you. Sometimes it's forced. You know what I mean? It's like like a rap battle. I guess you say I've never been in one, but like yeah, somebody that
It's a rap battle.
You ever see somebody that has? You can tell when somebody's got pre-written something.
Yeah.
You can see when somebody.
Some of them
freestyle.
are bad acting too. It's like
It's
horrible.
different.
Yeah.
It really is different. But the animal comes out of me when I have somebody that presses that. And Khabib and Conor were the only two. And so fighting these other guys, man, they didn't do anything to me. They didn't piss me off too much. I was taking fights just to take fights and just to fucking keep it rolling and get out of my contract so I can go box. So I mean, literally, if the guy's gonna go in there and he's gonna talk shit and he feels the balls to do that, he thinks twice about doing that with me, because that gives me the fuel and the fire to be able to go out there and kick his ass.
I was looking at a lot of your fighting techniques, and then I'm a big Bruce Lee fan. I see
Yeah.
you mess with Wing Chun a lot. Is that like you keep that secretly in the back? Like I hear stamina is a way where you keep it as a secret weapon when you like you see homies open. Wing Chun comes into play. Like
I got a Taekwondo background, wrestling, and Pops never let me fight. So it was always watching movies, and I had a speed bag. He had a speed bag since I was 15. So as soon as I got out of that, I was like, I'm gonna hit the martial arts. So I met a Wing Chun dude. I was over and I was barely
I actually
making
met the
some
one
funds.
that actually trained Ip Man.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, the old guy. He's still alive. I think he was like 90. I went to like some kind of like I went to Mike Tyson's. He was an Ip Man 4, right, or 3? He was
3.
yeah. So so Mike Tyson was there, and then the guy who fucking trained Ip Man was there. I was like, what the fuck? Like under Bruce Lee and all that craziness.
It's
like,
cool to be in it, man. In martial arts, you want to be out there. It's freestyle, so you want to keep surprising people. But I want to be real. It's trendy as shit. So people, as soon as you do it,
everybody courage to go in that shit, man. Like I'm pussy as fuck. How do you do that, yo? How do you see this fucking enemy you about to go in? And you don't know what he's gonna do to you.
I won nationals in college for wrestling. I won state in high school. We won state for football. We were 27-1. And in baseball, we went to the state semifinals. I've been playing fucking sports since I was like 3.
So you're desensitized from all that?
Not desensitized. I get tunnel vision. And when I'm out there, it just hones in. Like, I mean, if you're going fast, right, you exactly know. And then I'm able to take slow time and then expand it to like 15 seconds. I just have that in video games, correlating it with it, and then just being able to do all of that. You know, and like I said, experimenting with other martial arts. I train with weapons, so I do a little disarms and stuff. So that way it keeps my hand-eye coordination. And it's just, like I said, never getting bored with anything.
Does weed keep you, on point? Like,
nobody knew I smoked.
I heard about your, your school. Like, you gotta like roll a blunt before you get in there.
Yeah, that was one of the things. It was, it was.
You gotta roll a joint, yo. What the hell, man?
You know what it was? It was just to see if people, not just to see if they would do it, but if they knew. And you could tell somebody by their character.
Oh,
and I even had people, they would go on YouTube and they would actually try to learn how to do it. And, even I had one of the dudes, he dealt in the business and he couldn't even fucking do it. I was like, all right, so you don't do this shit.
See ya.
All right, so yeah, it was a little bit different. But, I mean, in reality, it's like nobody knew I smoked. I probably smoked more than Nate Diaz and all these guys combined.
Wow.
So, I mean, if anybody can't tell on my Instagram post, everybody's like, what the fuck are you saying? I'm just fucking with you guys.
You're in the right place, man. Yo, give this guy all the weed here, man. Give him like 5 pounds, man. We out of here, man. Before he punches you with a pound.
It was always grape switches.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I learned?
Papers? You can fuck with papers?
I'm going to be real. Like, my fans can understand this, too. My freshman year, I was on scholarship to go to Central Michigan University. And I didn't like the coach and the team there. I was in the honors dorm, and I learned, at that time, I just learned how to party. He was selling $5 cups of beer, and I made more doing that. And bartending is the same thing a couple of years later. And we were at this park and trying to help. There was a homeless dude, and he would always come by the bar, and he brought his dog, so we'd always give him food and water. And during the summer, September, it would get cold. And so I would see him at the skate park. And a couple of my buddies were skaters, and I just remember just walking, and a couple of kids were picking on him. And I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go sit next to him. So these guys would stop fucking with him.
Oh, wow.
And he had a pack of Bugles. It was like a cigarette pack. And he rolled up a cigarette for me. It was funny as shit. And he taught me how to roll one. So it was like easier to do that.
That's some overseas European shit, man.
Yeah, it was actually really interesting on that one.
I thought like MMA fighters use edibles to like soften their muscles after the cramping and
yeah, I mean, I really didn't.
Especially the crazy training you guys be doing and all that stuff.
Yeah, most of them do. I'm gonna be real like that, but I don't follow anybody's trends.
Okay, so you got your own shit.
I do my own thing, man. And I do that the owner my tune my horn. Nobody knows I smoked. I kept it to myself for a long time. So now people are gonna find out, which is cool. I don't mind it anymore. I've always been in my comfort zone. I'm a magician. Nobody knows that too, and I've been doing that shit since I was little.
Get out of there. You can make like a quarter like disappear in
that was actually shit like that, right? I'll send I'm gonna be real. I'll send you that as a clip, right? Bounce it off of it. It's cool.
Oh, I love it, man. You know what I'm saying? We could do that. We got a grill here. I fuck with magic though, man. I don't know what it is, man. That shit, like, it makes me like go crazy. Like when I don't understand like numbers. And especially the mental stuff. I don't know if you do the mental stuff. The mental stuff is too much for me.
It's you know what I mean? It's like finagling a little bit. I learned my first coin trick. I'm dealing cards. I'm in a little group too. I mean, it's a small little group, but what I mean, it's like it's a network. And I keep it to myself. Like I don't really show too much. I actually did a trick at UFC 209. I'll try to find a video for you guys. I scared the fuck out of Khabib. I guarantee you. Yeah, I'll send it to you guys. It's cool. I do impromptu. And when I do it like that, it's more interesting. It's cool. You don't have to go out there and show off and put it on Instagram.
I never met an MMA fighter that's a magician at the same damn time, man. What the hell?
I like to be a Renaissance man. I grew up on 40 acres,
well, that's crazy, yo.
It was different. Everybody pushes button for heat. My stepdad, he moved me out there, and so I had to cut cords of wood. A cord of wood is like a stack of wood, and so we had to do that, and then we had to stack wood in the basement. So he did it on purpose. So he was like, I'm going to keep you away from all this, this stuff. And I'm going to put you over here in sports. I'm going to raise you this way so that way you know exactly what you don't want to do. And so
you
I
got
to
the
that point.
discipline and everything. So
Yeah, man. I got trained in the military, so it was a little bit different, man.
Dang, you got everything, man. You're like a robot or something, man.
I call it a renaissance, man.
Who was the catalyst? My last question that got you like into it. Like, who was the
I had
hero?
a lot of family that were homies, and some like that were a little bit higher and some shit.
Oh,
And
so
they
were-
always put me into. They always put me into in the right direction. And the reason why they did that is because they just saw me. They were like, you know, he's a good kid.
Is there an MMA fighter that you looked up to, like, you know, that you kind of like?
Well, when I first started, it was GSP at 170 pounds, but he was my target.
Wow.
And so I was at 172.
That's
so
insane.
I'm 14-2, and I actually met him at Wildcard with Freddie Roach. And the coolest shit is he's exactly how he is off camera, fully respectful. We bowed, and he said, "What's up, champ?" And I looked at him and I was like, "Fuck, well, you're a champ." But he was just so respectful like that. So if I had to say anybody like that, it would probably been GSP.
Wow, that's gangster though. I'm glad that everything's regulated. I remember when we first started watching MMA, it was like a 500-pound motherfucker and a skinny crackhead. Like it was like, remember in the beginning, blood everywhere. It was like
there's no rules. There's no holds barred. People going out of the cage.
How much were you fighting for? Like $500 or some shit like that?
They had a tournament, man. That's what got me into. My pops did a tough man tournament out in Michigan. And it was cool to see him get into it. And they always played sports. So if I didn't have that visual to see what it was like, I would have never been able to get there. But I had people create that visual for me. In the house, I was in a mansion, so I said, I want to fucking get one. Brock Lesnar brought me over to Minnesota.
Wow.
2 hours from everything.
Fire.
And he brought in guys to try to come and kick my ass, which was cool. And he said it right, dude. And I still keep in contact with my coach. So he says, save your money, pay your taxes. And the next time, it was every single year, he would say that after every fight. And I asked him, Coach, what's next? He says, find your second passion. Find your second passion and pursue that, kid.
You're not gonna be fighting those weird. Who those guys? Fucking McGregor fought and all them like.
He's still running, man.
Yeah, Jake Paul and all. You're not fighting those guys. You
I wouldn't
respect
mind
that kind of stuff.
No, I'm gonna be real. I wouldn't mind like celebrity fights and everything.
You probably fuck them up, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I bumped up 2 weight classes. I bumped up 2 weight classes in college. I wrestled
shit.
John Jones.
Oh wow.
I lost by 1 point.
Yeah, that's the homie too, man. Bones.
I was weighing like 178. Everybody was cutting from 205.
You must hate him. You have him on your wall, like.
No, when he was going through some shit. I deal with a lot of CEOs and help the stress levels.
Oh,
so
wow.
when he was going through some shit, I reached out through Instagram and I started texting him. I was like, "Hey man, just keep your head up." I was like, you know, and I talked to his pops too. Like he was like, "I remember you," and I was like, "Ah, that's cool. Thank you, pops." And it's just a little bit different with me and the fighters, man. I don't like to see anybody go through rough times and shit, so I always reach out to them and they're cool with me.
Yo, we getting free tickets from this guy on his next fight or what, man?
Jardín,
where's Jardín at? Yo, get that magic over here, yo.
Go handle it. Next time
Get
you
the
got
homie over here.
It's gonna be interesting. You can't stand back forever, man.
We want to be in the front though. We want to see like the big loud boom.
We'll make it happen, man. I'll send Dana a message.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
You guys are cool, man. Like I don't tell these stories too often, so I want to appreciate you guys coming in here. So yeah, Jardín, I appreciate you, DJ Whoo, 2 times.
Of course, man. Good looking.
Once, twice.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Man, that's it. We just got one photo with the girls downstairs and then.
Oh, shit. Shit is real, nigga.